Something so fundamental but isn't taught enough to us growing up is what a healthy romantic relationship actually looks like. So I wanted to share my healthy love bucket list, which is all of the things I hope everyone will experience in a relationship, including myself. And I think these are things that everyone deserves, but maybe didn't grow up seeing or have someone sit down and explain them to us. So starting off strong, number one on my bucket list is just being able to have so much fun when you're spending time with your partner. I think oftentimes we tend to see friendships and romantic relationships as completely separate entities with their own separate characteristics, but I think a healthy relationship can also feel like spending time with your best friend, having a ton of inside jokes, laughing until your stomach hurts, and if you're into it, sending a lot of memes. Number two on my bucket list is being able to have difficult conversations and healthy conflict that ultimately bring you closer and having a clear set of rules when you do run into conflicts. I feel like oftentimes we want to avoid conflict and talking about things that could potentially make us upset, but I also think it's super important to have these conversations so that you and your partner can set boundaries for the future. Something I also think is incredibly important is laying the ground rules for when you do have conflicts. So, one ground rule that I've read about is avoiding making absolute statements like you always mess up this or you never do that. Number three is feeling like the relationship is a two-way street made up of both kindness and equality. And what I mean by that is that both parties can show up for each other in ways that are intentional and genuine. So that could be celebrating each other's wins and offering support to each other during difficult times, and also expressing this kindness in a way that feels equal. That sums up some of the things that are on my healthy love bucket list. And I wanted to make this video in honor of raising awareness of gender-based violence, also known as GBV, and its intersections with sexual health, since that was the focal point of my fellowship this week. I think we often talk about violence in relationships in terms of what not to do, but I feel like it's just as important to talk about what healthy love can and should look like, because when we talk about things such as having fun, navigating conflict, and equality in relationships, we're actively challenging the silent norms that allow gender-based violence to exist in the first place. If you want to read more about the signs of healthy and unhealthy relationships, one awesome resource is the One Love Foundation, and on their website they have infographics such as these that give you a crash course on some of the most common characteristics of healthy relationships. And if you're super passionate about educating others on relationship health or raising awareness of relationship abuse, you should look into starting a chapter of a One Love Club. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you learned something from my video.